Cubey is truly someone else.
Cube looks at the cat and he says, Mazel Thod.
Mazel Thod. Huh.
So old, forgotten, wanna remembered. Wanna be remembered.
It looks as though that you have insect fur on the ends of these very long black limbs of yours.
And he says, like Mama.
Mama?
Mama.
We're still trying to figure out who. One Shots from the Meowing Portal, Episode 3 premieres Wednesday, December 7th at 7 p.m. MST on twitch.tv/BrainyTheRPGCat. This presentation of One Shots from the Meowing Portal is brought to you by GreatMedia.Games. Visit GreatMedia.Games and use the code 10finity at checkout for 10% off your online order. Hello and welcome to another installment of One Shots from the Meowing Portal. I'm so glad to see you all. So in our last adventure we barely made it back with our fur intact as we battled Heinrich, the sinister drow elf of the realm of Ilcelarius. But enough about that. It's on to the next realm where we engage in pirate intrigue on the Merchant Isles. This adventure is entitled Oceans Uneven, a one-shot from the Meowing Portal. Enjoy, everybody. Hello, cats and kittens, felines and felidae, humans and variant humans, and every race, class, and subclass. Welcome to Episode 3 of One Shots from the Meowing Portal. So, when we left off last episode, we had just stopped the maniacal machinations of a sinister drow elf that lived in the realm of Ilcelarius, which was a dimension where the Underdark races began living above ground. Shortly afterwards, our group of heroes returned to the Cat's Pajamas Inn, which is their typical base of operations. And we've been there for about a couple of days, and Brainy has been hanging out at the tavern just as significantly. When asked why, he's been said that, well, yeah, the longer that I stay here, the more time that my master Bosch back at the library is going to forget everything that has already happened. And so we're going to begin this next adventure inside of the Cat's Pajamas Inn. But, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Once again, let's say hello to the cast. We have at Game Night 00 playing Autodoc Blue 32. I think I got 37. Yeah, sorry about that. Is that I've got my screen a little bit more reduced this time.
No problems.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Joe. Hello.
Hello, Joe. And we have at Marin Mermaid is twitch.tv/Marin Mermaid playing Marin Corlanth.
Glad to be back again.
Mm-hmm. And we have a new adventurer with us at least for today's episode. This is at Shy Bunny Servant on Twitter. Also, Mimi's Wonderland on YouTube, I believe.
Yes, that is correct. Hello, I'm Mimi.
And they are going to be playing QB. And so what is QB is part of what we are actually going to be uncovering today. All right, so as I've already said, the story begins at the Cat's Pajamas Inn. And Otto and Marin have their usual table. And just very excitingly, Brainy bursts in, hops up onto the table and says, I've got it, Eureka! I have made an excellent conclusion. and he's got a leather bound book in his hands, and he drops a tome and he opens it up and he starts rifling through the pages immediately.
Slow down. What is this about?
Otto arches an eyebrow quizzically at Brainy.
So I just happened to figure out the whereabouts of a certain Water Genasi, former companion of our Triton friend here.
You know that?
Yeah, I do. I was able to figure that. I was able to check the multidimensional logs to see if anybody coming in and out might have fit the description of your former companion, River. And I happened to locate him. Right now, he's in the middle of the Basin Archipelago, which is a small inlet of islands that is to the very far northeast of the Sword Coast.
Marin is just grinning from ear to ear, looking all around. She has to practically hang on to her seat because she knows there's more coming up, but at the same time, it's River.
Yeah, it is indeed River. And so I'm not entirely sure what his activities might be, but I'm sure that if we get to that island, then we will be able to ask the locals and get a determination of where they might currently be. Where they, whether or not they still might be in the island or even in this dimension.
What are we waiting for?
Well, I mean, so as a matter of fact, it happens that we're waiting for a work order. I believe I've got something lined up. It's a pretty remote and hopefully very dull adventure, but that'll give us all the more time in order to figure out where your wayward friend has gotten to.
Oh, okay.
So,
This is very good news, Marin. Don't feel discouraged by minor inconveniences in the path.
I suppose, though I wouldn't call what exactly happened a minor inconvenience. It's been well over 5 years since I've been searching.
well, first of all, this calls for a drink. Barfy, your finest root beers. Bartholomew, the bartender, shouts back, "It's Bartholomew, you pretentious furball." And yeah, he wanders off. He begins to get the drinks.
Barfy's supposed to be a bad nickname?
Uh, I never really assumed it was.
This unit is uncertain, but judging by the reaction, would assume yes.
You assume that he doesn't want to be called that, and then I'm going to have to make it a point to remember not to call him that from that point forward.
Hmm. So, what exactly is this new work order?
Well, we just need to do a couple of small acquisitions for the library. The first thing that we are looking for is we are looking for the tone of Ignis Inglethorpe. Is the last journal that he was capable of writing as before he sadly passed away at sea.
Oh,
So,
I'm really sorry to hear about that.
well, the Basin Archipelago is a kind of an interesting group of islands. It's, well, how do I put this as gently as I possibly can? And Brainy just really begins to stymie over this. Okay, it's pirate. These are pirate islands.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I knew that you had your misgivings about going to the pirate islands after a few discussions that we've had in the past.
But you're saying... No, that can't be right. He can't be there. He promised me he wasn't.
Well, don't worry about that, Marin. Is that one thing that you have to understand about pirates is that some of them can actually be rather benevolent.
Well,
I don't want to, diminish that the pirates that you'd certainly dislike, the ones that had attacked your village. But in a more general sense, pirate islands are simply islands that are independent of the crown, and a lot of very decent people can come from places like that.
because it's mulling over, but without really a true conclusion, she just benignly agrees. Just, yeah, I suppose.
Okay, so suddenly, as you guys are discussing, Bartholomew darts out from ahead of the board and says, "Quickly, seal the front doors!"
Huh?
I saw the most frightening thing as I was going back to the liquor stores. This weird, shadowy beast leaped out at me. It was just the strangest thing that I've ever seen. It looked like a large, multi-limbed, hairy insect humanoid with a bag on its head.
Show us this beast.
I fear that to do so is I fear to even attempt to allow it into the tavern. I've never seen anything like it.
Do we need to go out there?
So,
I mean, we've certainly already gone through worse.
so casually walking down the cellar, is QB. Just came down from the cellar doors.
Cube kind of shuffles in, and almost like he's kind of disoriented a bit. But otherwise, when you heard Bartholomew say it looked like some kind of beast, this was not what you had pictured in your head. It's Cube's rather short, but you could easily mistake it for the size of a halfling, just a little tad taller than that. And he absolutely does look like he's carrying a bunch of rags over himself, up along with a bag that's covering his head, and with what looks like a scribbled-on face hastily covering where the face should be.
I don't know what this is, but it looks more like it got pranked than anything else. And it should be fine. Otto, do you just want to go check on whatever this is?
Certainly. And Otto approaches the beast in air quotes. You all can't see me making them, sorry. And Otto's familiar greetings protocol initiated. Hello, beast.
Cube look. Oh wait, sorry, my bad.
No, just hello, and then ... Beast? Question mark.
Cube looks up at this metal man, and well, I guess you could assume so. But Cube is holding this flyer, or in one of his. You assume it's his hands, and so they're ashen black, and he holds it up to you. It's the flyer, or advertising for the Meowing portals.
Oh, this one is merely responding to the cat's ad.
Brainy!
You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be excreting my kilt.
What?
You think I say funny things. So Brady walks up and approaches it. Say, "Hello, speak common?"
Okay, looks like he's a bit in thought, and you actually hear him talk. He look kind of raspy. He hasn't really talked for quite a bit, and it says, "Yes,
Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Understand. So, you were interested in joining my operation then?
Cube nods.
Mhm. Well, I think we might still be able to arrange that.
Really?
Yeah. I might have to pull a few strings, but I don't really see any kind of issue with this.
You see that Cube, well, not really expressive a whole lot of ways, is rather happy that you're not just running away from him in terror, or or you know.
Aw. I mean, it would be nice to have another teammate, Brainy.
Yeah, that would be true. Is that feel like we barely made it out with our lives the last adventure that we had.
I mean, we handled it. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, perhaps I'm overreacting when it comes to that. Well, all right, guys. It seems as though that our rest period is over. We should get right back to the chamber and see what we can do for the person who is going to be our new ward.
All right.
All right. So they go from the Cast Pajamas Inn to Brainy's chamber, which, as we all know, is this corner of the Denarian library. And so Brainy sits in his usual cushion and he begins to work very feverishly at several ritual divination spells.
Oh, do you know what he's doing?
This unit is uncertain. Cat, explain your activities.
So it's not an awful lot to explain about. It's just trying to do what I can in order to make as many identifications on our new friend as possible. And so he moves over to
Speaking
the
of this,
Talbot.
the new friend, Cube's not really, paying attention to what's going on with them. He's rather curious about the multiple kinds of books on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
He's never really seen things like this before, or you could conclude.
And Otto is very fascinated by Cube and is trying to not rudely stare, but is probably like staring way too long.
So,
Marin decides to speak up just to kind of make this new friend, feel a bit more welcome. You know, I've never seen this many books myself.
Cube looks up at her and nods his head while looking at the books again. And he's not really sure like what these books are, even if they are whatever they are. He's just looking at them.
Is there anything you wanted to read?
Cube looks at her and asks, "Read?"
Oh! Well, there's no shame in not knowing what's in these books. I mean, we probably certainly don't know everything here. There's absolutely no shame in not knowing how to read Common. It's a very complex language. Even as long as I've been up here, there's still some things I don't understand.
You might as well cut 5 words from every other world language and use it in order to create Common.
Ah, no kidding. And then once you get to the expressions, it's so difficult to get.
So I see that you are a changeling. I see that you also possess warlock magic. Hmm. By any chance, do you happen to know the name of your deity?
Cube, he looks a bit like I thought, like he's a guy remember. And he's just a second. Dear me. All right, let's see here. Here we go. Cube looks at the cat and he says, "Mazel Thod."
Mazel Thod. Huh. It isn't
Cube
any of.
actually, what?
Doesn't sound
Oh,
like any of the. Doesn't sound like any of the deities that exist currently. Mazel
Cube
Thod. Mazel Thod.
Cube speaks up and says, "So old, forgotten, wanna remembered,
Ah,
wanna be remembered."
they must be one of the very old gods, the ones that potentially perished in the War of the Gods, slightly before the beginning of all human civilization. Well, human as it were, anyways. And so it just begins rifling through the book that's in front of him.
Huh. That's a bit new to me.
So, as a changeling, you could effectively have any form you want, but you do largely choose this somewhat insect-like form. It looks as though that you have insect fur on the ends of these very long black limbs of yours.
Cube looks down at himself and he says, like Mama.
Mama?
Mama.
What is a mom? That's so. You don't mind just extending your arm for me, do you?
Cube's a little bit hesitant, but he does do so.
These joints, not actually insect. I think they're a bit more arachnid.
Oh, that's what it is.
So it baffles me to even think, but you were actually raised by a giant spider.
Cube nods and says, "Yeah, Mama."
My word.
Otto is, um, you can hear grinding in Otto's head, and you hear his involuntary voice go, processing.
So this is really a form that you seem to create by yourself. It's very unusual for a changeling to do that.
Cube he kind of looks at himself. Change?
I'm going to stop short at potentially looking underneath the fabric at the mask, but so it's no wonder that you give so many people a fright. You're like nothing anybody's ever seen before. You're like nothing that has probably walked the earth up until this point.
Cube doesn't really look like he really understands.
Well, all right. I think that's all.
Sorry.
No. By all means, go ahead.
So it's like that one expression that they're one of a kind?
Yeah, truly one of a kind.
Fascinating.
This being the default form of a changeling means that this is precisely the way that they mentally want to appear to the outside world.
Is it magic? Or is it biological?
Well, I mean, so there's a little bit of a. The jury is slightly out on that kind of theorem. And so as Brainy starts talking, he wanders over this table.
Otto is very, very uncomfortably close to Cube, like zero personal bubble boundaries.
Cube doesn't seem like he even minds. He probably also want to be like uncomfortably close to these people in the room too.
You see, when you begin talking about the difference between the biological abilities of some beings and the magical abilities that are provided to us by the weaves that exist in the universal maniples that exist on multiple dimensions, you begin to bring yourself up to quantum echelons and understandings of how many of these constructs come into play. And so while he's saying this, he takes off his hat and he pulls out a pair of conjured six-sided die. There's about four of them, and then he just rolls them across the table.
Cube is actually pretty actually jumps a bit at the sudden sound, but after the sudden shock, he actually goes a bit closer to look at the small little things that just made the noise. He he carefully pokes one before it makes another clack. It can flinch back a bit before it shows that he's actually amused by the sound of the clacking.
Seems to be a dice fan. Could quite literally be the only other one that I've ever met. Well, unfortunately, these dice are going to disappear in a while, but I'm sure that, I just have a great big bag of them somewhere around here, and you're welcome to play with them anytime that you like.
Play dice.
Yes, play dice is that there's just a multitude of games that you can play using dice.
Cube looks happy at the thought. Play!
Well, I think we've learned absolutely everything that we can here in the lab. I think it might be time to go ahead and go on our mission.
Yes, let us finish this so that we can finish helping Marin find her friend.
So, QB, do you perhaps know how to shift your body so that you look like a human?
Cube has a bit of a thought. I think he's thinking human, and you can see here that his skin is changing color from the regular ashy gray and hairy to a typical old tan and or whatever color skin and of a human and and once the limbs are covered in this thing, he takes off the bag covering his head to show that he has taken the form of a typical human child with walnut eyes and messy brown hair. And he asks, "Human?"
Yes, human. You're going to need to hold that for a little while when we go into this realm so that you don't frighten anybody off.
Kive nods, understanding that he doesn't want to scare people.
Well,
Otto's mouth just drops open.
So cool! I've never seen anything like that before.
well,
Otto at this point has grabbed your sleeve, Cube, and is, looking at your arm and trying to figure out how you did that.
don't
From what you
gawk,
can
Otto.
see, it's more like it molted into this new form, like whatever the heck kind of skin was there, pretty much fell flat and melted into this new kind of skin.
Very, very interesting.
It's pretty typical when it comes to changelings.
You're not impressed by this? This is normal for this species?
There's so many things that you would be impressed by that I would consider to be completely and totally mundane. But I digress.
Well, this unit has never met a changeling before and is very, very interested.
Well, it's best not to gawk too much, Otto, is that the outside world is going to be gawking plenty for everybody.
Cuvea
Otto,
puts the bag back over his head, but he still keeps the human skin and overall appearance underneath.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Otto,
everybody. Time to giddy up.
Otto's body language kind of gets a little dejected at Brainy's discouraging words.
All right, we can always ask questions later.
Mm-hmm. So on to Merchant Island and the Basin Archipelago.
How are we traveling there? Teleportation?
Oh, yeah, of course. As
Oh,
once we finally get there, we will put ourselves right on the Merchant Beach.
excellent.
Okay. So, um, put this up first. So we step through the portal, and after the portal dissipates, we find ourselves in in Merchant Island, part of the Basin Archipelago. It's just a beautiful land full of seaside cliffs and vegetation. Very hot, balmy breeze blows through the air. You hear the sound of seagulls.
Ah, man, this brings back so many memories.
I'd imagine it's a little bit closer to the kind of shores that you used to see when you lived in the Triton Kingdom.
A little bit. It's just. Where I came from, we didn't really have much to do when it came to exploring. You had to wait until you were 15 until the first breaching.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, as soon as you step on the shore, immediately, well, immediately being as soon as I can actually change the map again, um, I'm starting to gather so many individual maps that, it's starting to get confusing when I start to make the transition. And so,
A whole library of maps.
yeah, a whole library of maps. And so, as soon as we approach as soon as we appear on the beach, is that we start to hear just a very loud commotion that is going on, just in the middle of the shoal. Say, there is a man that clearly appears to be the head of the guard, and he does seem to be accosting what appears to be an ordinary man. Is that blonde with a very lengthy beard in the middle of the beach, while there are several guards standing along the sides of the just along the beach.
Cubey kind of stands, kind of backs up a bit and kind of gets behind the other. There's,
Yeah,
there's,
Marion immediately steps in front just in case.
Mm-hmm. So you go just about here and about here. All right.
Otto is just observing.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you start to hear their argument. It says, "You're gonna tell me where the map is?" And the man responds, I swear, I promise, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I said, "This is treason. The Archduke will definitely hear about this." Which leads to cheers from the guards that are alongside this entire altercation. What does anybody do?
Otto leans into Marin. Do you understand what's happening here?
Not at all. Do you?
No. Should this unit initiate greeting protocol?
No, let's just wait it out and see if anyone else says anything.
Good idea.
Listen, you better tell me the location of where that map is, or I swear that I will behead you right here in the middle of the beach for all to see. So, Brainy chooses to intervene right here, is that he's about to swing with his sword, but then he suddenly finds that he can't. This is... What manner of devilry is this? And says, it's a whole person, good sir, Brainy replies. As I'm sorry, but, I couldn't help but overhear the very raucous conversation that you were just having. Say, you stay out of this, Outlander. I am going to punish this man for stealing from the Archduke de la Fontaine. He says, I'm innocent, I swear I'm innocent.
This all feels just a tiny bit familiar to Marin. And yet she still shrinks back while still covering up Cube.
Yeah, Cube also looks pretty scared at the fact, like that this kind of thing is happening right out here in the open.
It's alright. Brainy will have it covered, right? Right.
Brainy, is this how criminal investigations are conducted in this part of the world?
Say, oh, that actually might have been something I forgot to tell you. And then, as the moment that he says that, he breaks the spell, but the other knight falls forward. Just falls flat on his face in front of the remainder of the guards, and everybody starts laughing.
Cube actually feels a little bit less nervous and kind of peeks out from behind a Marin just a little bit. Still kind of shaken up, still kind of scared, but he's not as scared as before.
So, sir, I come to you on the jurisdiction of the wizards of the Library of Dinah, goddess of all knowledge. Please elucidate on me the crime that this man has committed.
While before this guy can answer, after Brainy asks his question, much later than the guards are having their little like laughing moment, and after that subsided, Otto then laughs completely out of context, but I guess to the observer, but he's trying to catch up with the mirth of the other guards.
Mm-hmm. My name is Brutus. I am the second in command to the Archduke de la Fontaine, ruler of the Merchant Isles. And this man is holding a key element of espionage from the eyes of our leader.
Espionage?
They think that I have a map, and that map leads to the hidden pirate village that still exists in the Basin Isles. But I promise I don't have any such thing.
What evidence do you have that would lead you to believe that this person possesses this item?
Well, he's probably the only person who would know where and how to hide a map. He's the town's cartographer.
Oh.
Oh, I'm trying to see.
Cube doesn't really know what that means.
Is there any sort of roll we can do? To sort of ease tensions at all?
I mean, you guys are free to try absolutely anything.
Alright, so let me...
Yeah, Otto's going to try to use some insight to figure out how best to cool these people down. In particular, the ones that are trying to harass this map maker.
Okay, go ahead and roll your insight.
Yeah, 13.
All right, so you're 13. You realize that a lot of the soldiers around here are really just kind of in a resting position. They're not entirely on the attack, unlike their leader. So maybe if you just did or used anything in order to distract them, they'd pay more attention to you than the argument that's going on.
Ah,
Uh,
I
uh,
I might have an idea.
Perhaps this unit has the same idea, and Otto kind of opens up the little chest cavity and points to the drum that's in his chest slyly.
We did not have the same idea. Oops.
Cube might have an idea to draw attention towards us. At this thing, it probably needs to be distracted. And so Cube, he takes a deep breath, and imitates, and lets out an invitation and a call of some wolves. Like he lets out a perfectly good wolf snarl.
Okay, I'm going to need a check on deception.
All right, deception. Plus 4, and
There it is.
that's a 23 on deception.
Yeah, it's a 23. And so, yeah, everybody just kind of started looking randomly around the beach. They say, "What, did you guys hear a wolf? It's ridiculous. We're on the beach. Wolves don't come all the way out here." And so eventually, yeah, all of the soldiers spread out enough so that Brutus is still lying flat on the beach. So, well, newcomers, I have to admit, you certainly are adept at making a monkey out of my men.
What does that mean?
Says, I am only saying that this man should be treated to a fair investigation and trial.
Otto is like, your subordinates do not appear ape-like.
Well,
Cube's just staring at the man.
you'd be mighty surprised. You'd be mighty surprised at that, fair automaton. Give us an opportunity to go over and speak to the Archduke. Perhaps we can come to an understanding that is a bit more applicable than the one that you have forced upon this townsperson. Well, all right, very well. I'm going to go ahead and disperse my men, and we'll all head up to the Archduke's castle, so that we can ward them of your coming. Men, to town, and he begins to march off, and the remainder of the guards begin to march off as well.
Oh, good, we did not have to revert to Plan B. What was your plan?
Honestly, I'm more impressed with Cube than anything else. I thought he was just going to fake cry.
Oh, thank you, everybody. You saved me. That could have been really, really deadly if you guys hadn't happened along.
Of course. Who are you again?
Oh, sorry. My name is Swain. You know, Swain, like boat Swain. Is that I used to sail and chart the Basin Archipelago until the Archduke and his men began to take over the merchant island.
I see. Marin.
She extends a hand. I suppose this is a normal greeting.
Oh yes, of course. And he reaches over and then he very energetically shakes her hand.
Yes, thank you.
So he leans in on Marin and he says, Yishin, at one time, a Triton saved my life after I fell overboard. So I feel as though I owe a debt to your people. And because of that, I do have something very, very important to tell you.
Oh?
Yes, Brutus was only half right in his assessment. There is both a real and a fake map on this island. However, the real one is currently in the possession of the Duke.
Oh.
It was my scheme in order to make a fake replica that eliminated the presence of the secret pirate hold and attempt to switch the maps. But unfortunately, the heat is on, and I'm not going to have an opportunity to do it.
You're trying to get us to do it?
Well, that would be the long of it.
Otto states, "Gasp! We are being asked to participate in a criminal enterprise?"
Say, how loud did you say that?
Probably.
So
Probably a little louder than he should have.
I need you to roll your deception at disadvantage.
Okay, that's fair. Let's see. That low roll is not great.
Mm-hmm.
I got something, just in case. So, like, if the guards are at their attention and stuff, then let me see if I can roll a performance, too.
Well, okay, it won't be necessary for your roll performance, but please do tell me what that deception check was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were looking. It is the low one is 6. I'm terribly sorry, Brainy.
No. Well, as I say that, if Marin wants to follow that up with a deception roll.
Ah, okay, I see. What's my deception? What's my deception? Come on. Okay, that's not bad. I can do that. Am I also at at disadvantage?
No.
Okay, so it is. Nice.
Okay,
Ooh,
20,
nice
24.
one.
So you do something, and that completely ends up drowning out what Otto is saying out loud, and you're free to decide whatever it is.
Let me think, let me think. I gotta think of something, because I wasn't thinking that.
Perhaps Cube may be of service, as in your deception.
Like, right as he's speaking, she asks Cube to just,
Cube, can you cry for me real quick?
Okay, the Cube, hearing this, Cube immediately makes imitation wails like a child.
I know. It's okay, honey. It was scary, wasn't it? Everything will be okay.
And so you do see some guards' heads turn back, but then just turn themselves away as soon as they're confronted by a crying child, and just continue to walk the rest of the way down the beach.
Phew.
It was close. Thanks.
Well,
Cube
it seems to
nods.
me that right now you do have an audience with the Archduke. So you would probably be in the best position to possibly do this. Listen, it is really, really important that he does not find his way into the hidden pirate enclave, because if he does, any semblance of the government that around here before he decided to take over is going to be wiped out.
I see.
Say, oh, well, yeah, don't worry about it, Swain. We are all about maintaining the status quo in the dimensions that we keep. Feel free to go ahead and hand Marin the map. We'll see what we can do about it as we approach.
Oh, okay. I guess it's in my hands now.
I say, splendid. And he goes ahead and he hands her the fake map. Also, I just want you to know that you guys are not going to go at this alone. Is I have some contacts that are at the nearby inn, and they might be able to give you a trick or two that that will be able for you to pull off this mission successfully. Just ask for my good friend Bargus at the Bildrat Inn.
Noted.
She's not looking at anyone anymore. Her eyes and her hands are just on the map.
Mm-hmm. Say,
Just wondering how she got into this situation.
is there something the matter, Marin? Brainy asks.
Perhaps it's not best to divulge here.
Ah, I see. Well, at any rate, we could do a lot less harm to ourselves if we go ahead and we move on to that tavern.
All right, I guess.
Let us proceed to the Bildrat.
All right, so we travel from here to the Bildrat Tavern. So you arrive in the Bildrat Tavern. It is a relatively lively place. It looks not unlike the Cat's Pajamas Inn. There are a significant amount of tables and a significant amount of monster races drinking at the tables. At the bottom right corner of the inn, there are just 3 goblins that are playing an upright bass, a guitar, and a triangle, and they're standing on top of a log wearing human-sized captain's hats. And go on.
That's very interesting to Otto. He wants to see the musical performance.
Mm-hmm. And so they're just energetically going, singing the exact same verse of "What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?" over and over again.
Cube is liking the little musical display from the goblins. And he hasn't really encountered a whole lot of music before, so this is another rarity.
Mm-hmm. And so eventually, quite literally, the same stance over again. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning. And then they start over again. What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?
Otto leans into Cube and says, "There is usually more variance across verses. These musicians are limited in their song."
Cube looks back up at him. He pretty much just says the exact thing the goblins are saying. Like, he even copied their voice and everything, saying, "What would you do with your drunken sailor?" Or like exactly as they've been saying it.
So, and this excites the goblins. So, just immediately, you guys put yourself in a cycle where you just are repeating the lines back and forth to each other.
Yeah,
Oh.
Cube is really liking the repeating.
What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? And eventually becomes a round. What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do? And so on and so on.
Well, then Otto will proceed to clap along as well, since since Otto also respects music and is also fascinated by it.
Mm-hmm.
He is tempted to play his drum, but does not want to take away from their performance.
So, just out of the want to play your drum is that the drum cycles that are in your chest cavity do start to go off a little bit. And they don't seem to mind at all. You're just joining in the cacophony at this point.
Oh, okay. Well, since they don't seem to mind, then he will open up the chest cavity entirely and play the drums in the chest cavity.
Mm-hmm. And so before long, all 5 of you are just participating in the song in one way or another, and it's making a pretty joyful noise, and it is making all of the people around the tables very happy. So, and this just continues to build up in loudness and also in tempo. What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Hey, hey, and up she rises. Hey, hey, and up she rises. Hey, hey, and up she rises early in the morning. What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?
The best.
Otto is making note that humans like songs that repeat, that biological organisms like songs that are simple and repeat.
Cube just keeps repeating everything exactly as he's hearing, including like the increasing thing, like he's a little parrot or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And so, you continue singing, and the people at the tables, they begin stomping along, raising the drinks.
Otto's getting more into the people's reaction. This is what Otto lives for, as a performer, is, the energy of others. So Otto is now going to break out the lute arm from his pauldron that will extend out, and he will accompany them with his lute as well.
And so, eventually the goblin players do just come to an upright stop when it comes to singing, and then everybody applauds and everybody cheers.
And Otto will put his instruments away and try to greet the goblins and try to chat them up.
He was just happy that he was pretty much able to participate in something and without people being scared.
Mm-hmm. So the bartender wanders up. She's female. She's incredibly heavy set, and probably the most interesting about her is that around that green shawl, she just has an enormous amount of teeth strung onto a necklace, and it's around her shelf, around her green shawl, and it's teeth from all sorts of species, sharp orc teeth and blunt human teeth, and very small peg-like teeth that come from creatures like kenkus. Yes, And so the first thing that she does is she walks up to Otto and she says, "Well, what you interlopers happen to do on my bar?"
Oh, greeting protocol initiated. Hello, this unit is designated Autodoc Blue 37.
Yes, yes, you're a jolly overclocked music box you are.
Otto extends a hand. Uh, we have come to. Otto kind of looks at Brainy because Otto doesn't have an alibi, but Otto knows that we don't want to reveal our real purpose here.
So don't worry too much about it, barkeep. Is that my friend tends to be a little bit over exuberant when it comes to performing music. The bartender says, "Well, make sure you don't happen to let it happen again. The captain's log over there tends to somewhat lose their tempo if people tend to keep playing along with him."
Kyubey looks at what she just said and he looks kind of down, looks back to the floor.
So the three of you, do you see those seats over there? You know that you pay to sit in those seats, don't you?
Oh, what is the fee?
Well, I mean, it's the usual bar patron's fee. That is to say, if you want to come in here and you want to gawk at my play group, you had best sit down and order something. And then after having said that, she just slowly starts to wander back to the bar. So what does Marin do?
Marin once again just kind of grabs Otto and Cube.
Well, that was certainly rude.
Well, so as you approach the singers, they look at you, and they immediately burst out into a different song.
Huh?
And her skin was blue and scaly. Her hair was teal and pale. Her face was like a work of art. We love that girl with all her heart, but we only like the upper part. We do not like the tail. And they start repeating that.
Huh? What?
She's like looking over. She's looking around a little bit confused.
Okay, I think that we're cavorting a little bit too much with goblins at this point. And Brainy then just dutifully makes his way to one of the tables.
Alright, Kyubey will follow Brainy. He also smells the certain things being cooked wherever they are in the kitchen, probably. And yeah, he's hungry.
Say, fetch us a portus of that fine suckling pig that you have there, my good lady.
I guess Marin goes over too.
Say, when I'm good and ready.
Otto peels himself away from the music because Otto understands there is a mission to attend to.
I don't believe I've ever heard songs like that before.
Don't mind them, is that, they really just washed up upon shore one day, and I try to do everything to keep everybody gainfully employed. So she drops off the order of suckling pig slices that Brainy had ordered. So you guys clearly aren't from around here. You in particular are quite fair a mate, and much more than the ugly, scary fish people that usually inhabit our oceans.
Marin is a bit quiet about that. Like, she's just... She is slightly offended.
Kyubey's not really even paying attention. inch, and he's just digging into that pork. I don't think you could swear you weren't even seeing him chewing.
Says, my God, I think I found the person in our party with a bigger appetite than I have.
Make sure to chew, Cube, okay? You don't want to choke on anything.
Okay, so anyway, barkeep, we were in the search of a man named Vargas. I'll say, I know someone named Vargas, but he's hardly a man. Give me a moment and I'll fetch him for you. And so she
Also,
walks
Marin's
up.
little comment about chewing, Cube pauses for a moment and then does his best to, chew.
Mm-hmm.
Although it looks kind of weird with his makeshift human mouth. Something seems wrong.
Okay. So she goes along into the back rooms, and from there out comes Vargas. He's a full orc. And so he walks right up to the table. He's got a mean, ornery look on his face, and immediately he just slams his fist on the table and he goes, "What?"
Cube practically jumps out of the chair and falls flat on his back. Like, he was practically caught so off guard by that. And
Otto mimics the striking of the table and yells, "Greetings!"
Marin
Cube does get back up, and I guess he looks at what Otto did, and he does the exact same thing, but he doesn't really say greetings or whatever, just slams his fists on the table, or at least whatever he was trying to.
Not too engaged with the local customs, are you?
No.
Okay, so Swain sent us. He said that you might have known something about a map. And then so as Brady starts talking, and I say it, immediately he goes, "Shh, shh. There are heirs here." So he leans in on the table and he says, "I don't know if you would happen to notice, but the Archduke de La Fontaine is right over at that table over there." And he tries to gesture by tilting his head slightly to the left.
Otto guilelessly looks over.
Mm-hmm. Okay, roll your perception.
All of us?
No, just Otto.
That is a 19.
Mm-hmm.
Nice perception, my guy.
Yeah, so you do look over there guilelessly, and you see that the Duke is his eyes are just Fontaine, and he are just looking away, and he is not clearly not paying attention. But then also as soon as you tilt your head, is that Vargas reaches over the table and he actually wrenches his back and says, "Keep thy servos on the straight, you understand?"
Certainly. Stealth mode activated, he says loudly.
Say,
Kevin's not even really paying attention either. He's just, trying to sneak some more slices of pork. Like, trying not to get the attention of the big orc.
Mm-hmm. So listen tightly, interlopers. We have a plan in order to distract the Duke's guards. But we need to be as careful as we possibly can. I'm going to send the three of you to the jailhouse, where we will warn the former mayor and inform him that this is going to go down tonight. Then it is going to be up to you to deposit the map. Do you all understand? Are you digging my ditch?
Cube does seem to understand the terms distract and careful, and He does nod. Well, yeah, he's still trying to eat as much pork as he can.
Do you smell what the Burgess is cooking?
Otto leans in and asks Marin, was there a ditch on the map?
Oh, I believe this is another common expression.
Oh.
But yes, I do dig their ditch.
Yes, we all are digging your ditch.
All right, good. So go on to the jailhouse and head over to the southeast corner, as you should be able to find. You should be able to find the mayor, as in a cell that's being overtaken by by a small red goblin in a 3-piece red suit. You got that?
Piece red suit. Hmm.
So, well, all right. I think we've got our marching orders. Let's go ahead and head out to that jail.
All right.
All right, let's do this.
All right. So from here, yeah, we go from the we go from the tavern, the Bilge-Rat Tavern, and then we go ahead and we go over to the jail. And so the first thing that we notice is that just along the line of the jail cells, there are just a bunch of tents, and there are a bunch of curtains, and a bunch of just ramshackle stages made up along the side of the entirety of the building. And there are just town folks, there are livestock in the streets, and apparently, the jail cell area is just this enormous bazaar where a lot of people congregate.
Brainy?
Yeah?
Why? I wouldn't say I'm the best at understanding surface world customs, but I don't believe I've ever heard of a jail cell hosting a market before.
Well, it's become pretty apparent to me at this point. This market town is dealing with a civil war. These used to be other kinds of buildings, but when the Archduke came in, is that he turned it all into prison yards, has surrounded everybody with prison guards. This isn't a pirate island anymore. This is a prison state.
Yubei doesn't really understand the concept of jailer person, but he could tell by how the place looked that he feels really budgy about the thing, and like he does not like the concept of just these people just being locked up.
Well, it's going to be a little bit harder than I had originally hoped, but we're just going to have to go over and we're going to have to see this town mayor without alerting too many people that are on the street. And so Rennie starts walking, and he does make the point to go onto all fours and just walk around like an ordinary cat.
Otto will follow Brainy.
Mm-hmm.
Kyubei sticks close behind Otto, still in the human skin facade.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Marin decides to follow too.
Mm-hmm. And so everybody, just manages to get by. Everybody just seems to be too occupied with whatever they're doing on the street.
Well, that seemed easier than I thought.
Mm-hmm. Well, as this is definitely a pretty peculiar community. So they make it over to the corner of the jail cell. And Brady doesn't see anybody for a moment, but then he astutely he walks over to the barrel and he knocks twice. And so as soon as he knocks twice, is that the lid pops off of the barrel, and then out hops this goblin in a 3-piece red suit.
Otto looks at the goblin and says, "Your suit is red. How many pieces compose it?"
You're clearly not from around here, are you? He starts picking his fingernails using a dagger that's on his hand.
Yes, I believe that's quite obvious from now on.
Yes. We are not from here.
Let's see, it's an awful mishmash of critters around here. Mostly we only have humans and lizard folk. There aren't even that many goblins, just me and the 3 that keep singing on top of the log in the tavern.
Kibe actually perks up at the mention of the 3 goblins, and he does repeat what they were singing back at the tavern.
So, well, what'd you do
And,
with the
yeah.
drunken sailor? And so he goes, yeah, those 3.
Yes, they at least know one other song.
What has chosen to so grace us with such royalties?
Royalties?
Oh,
She tilts
yeah.
her head to the side.
So really, the Tritons around here really a hoity-toity bunch. Is that I was almost would assume that you guys have business with the Archduke.
Oh yeah, hearing the thing, Cube takes it upon himself to relay the message from the orc that we were told to deliver. He repeats it to the goblin exactly in the orc's voice as well. Oh.
So you just want to talk to the boss, huh?
Yes.
Okay, just give me a moment. And he hops off of the barrel, goes over to the wall. He knocks 3 times. Say, "Hey, boss, there's some outlanders here to see you." Right? And you feel the earth move. As just somebody from inside of the cell lumbers up to a very tiny window in front of the 3 cell bars and just plants himself on the upper side of the wall. So you can see him only slightly through the shadows of the bars and the window. He is a very, very large and very, very obese albino-skinned human. He's bald-headed. He doesn't seem to have any other body hair. He's just this large, pale, white human. So I'm going to need QB to roll a perception check.
All right, perception, gotcha. Roll d20. And that's a 6.
That's a 6. Okay, so he looks to you the exact same that he looks to everybody else, but you get this strange vibe from him. Something that just seems to resonate with you that the other people don't even seem to be able to detect.
Kibe actually does get closer to the wall, and it's like he's trying to... It almost looks like he's trying to scratch his way through. But, of course, not really much of any avail.
Okay, let's see what we have here. The voice from the inside of the jail cell says. Yeah. Hey, Cat, you're, one of the, Denarian wizards, aren't you? And Brady says, yeah. So, I happen to have that thing that the Denarian wizards were looking for. And then he lumbers away from the cell. He comes back in a moment, and he begins to start shoving book after book through the jail cell wall, and they all just land on the floor in front of Brainy.
They let you keep belongings in there?
Well, let is a little bit of a loose translation in this situation.
Ah,
So these, I believe, were the journals that the were requested by the Denarian wizards.
oh, right. What we
Sa-
originally came here for.
Yeah, sadly, the old sailor was really, really paranoid. He wrote a whole bunch of last journals. I believe this is volumes 1 through 12. Except there's no volume 6, Brainy just happens to point out. So, yeah, I've got absolutely no idea where that might have gone.
Kyubey kind of like looks at the books that landed on the ground. It almost looks like he's trying to sniff them.
Mm-hmm. And
Sure
so,
did right on.
so Brainy reaches forward and just pushes the whole pile of journals towards QB and say, "Hey, maybe you can stow these for us, just really quick until we can manage to get back home."
Okay, Kyubey nods at the little suggestion, and he takes the books and he actually puts them under the bag that's covering his head.
So, well, anyways, I hope that concludes our business. I wish you a very safe journey back to back to the library. And he begins to walk away from the window again.
Wait, this was the mayor, right?
Yeah, this was the mayor.
Wait! There's one more thing.
What's that?
We were also sent to inform him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Kyubey, upon hearing this, he repeats the message that the orc was told them to relay.
In the same voice?
Yep, same voice.
The exact same voice. That's amazing. You sound just like Vargas. I don't think anybody was capable of sounding like Vargas. Gives me the willies. Okay, QB, give me another perception check.
All right, another perception.
Uh-huh.
D20 plus 1. 19 on perception.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Okay, so this time you actually see it, is that there's just a glint of his very pale skin just tends to fade away. And you see purple scales and eyeballs. At least 3 or 5 eyeballs.
Kyubey actually looks kind of shook by what he saw. It still looks like he's trying to get through the wall, well, even to like very little avail.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he really wants to get through that wall.
Yeah, babe, what's wrong? I know you want to let him out, but we'll get to that eventually. Promise, okay?
Kyubey actually, he makes some kind of noise that is very much inhuman. And you can swear that you would get that same noise if you like poked a spider with a stick.
Okay,
Like,
there's got to be a skill roll here. Roll an intimidation.
intimidation, all right?
Mm-hmm.
14.
14. Yeah, so when you let out that shrill scream, what he does is that he double backs and he winces, and then somehow his own disguise fades away. And so underneath him is just a spherical, scaled purple creature that has multiple eyeballs and a very large maw of multiple sharp teeth.
What?
Okay, listen. Okay. The cat's out of the bag. I can see that. But please. Okay, don't raise your voices about it.
Not raised.
Mm-hmm. Anybody give me a knowledge or arcana check?
Yeah, let's see what I got.
Yep. Working on that right now.
Knowledge or
That is an Arcana of 3.
Yep.
That was not great.
Hold on, I'm trying to get back to my sheet again. I've been doing it on mobile, so. It was either Arcana or what else?
Knowledge, I think.
Okay. Would it just be a check roll, or would it be an actual roll? Like, check Arcana or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a 14.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Okay,
That
so
should- I hope.
you have actually heard of beings like this before, Marin. They're called beholders. And they're beings that just kind of strangely, arcanically pop up in different areas of the world. Controllers of fate, weavers of destiny, individuals who just kind of have their hands in controlling the probabilities of different parts of a world.
Hey, I don't understand.
It's
Why are you in here then?
Well, this is what you tend to call a long con, sweetheart. Is that I became the mayor of this town, and I worked for the Zentarim, which was the large, all-encompassing thieves guild that happens to be in lots of the central towns, Baldur's Gate, the Sword Coast, all of those kinds of areas. Everybody around here tends to think that I am this human, but before I had an opportunity to explain that to the Archduke, is that he sent his men in and he locked me in the cell. I haven't been able to get out because his men are always watching. And I wouldn't be able to do that without in some way revealing myself.
Right, I see.
Kyubey makes a small, little but noticeable little guttural hiss. Hiss.
Shish. Do me a favor, keep your Lothian on a leash, why don't you?
So, Marin backs Ikube up.
It's fine. It'll be okay.
Kyubey
So,
grumbles, but he stays close to Marin.
so my main secret is that as a beholder, I know all. So, of course, I knew that your cat friend was looking for those journals. And of course, I also know that you guys are looking to do the raid on the Archduke's castle at this point.
Right.
Well, if you know all, then where is volume 6 of these books?
I have no idea. It's just spirited away by someone or something that's beyond my power. As you can see, I'm just very highly sensitive to anything that might come from a dark location. And he just side gestures with his floating head in the direction of QB again.
Otto now puts himself bodily between QB and the Beholder because Otto doesn't care for the way that the Beholder is looking at QB.
Kyubey also
regarding QB.
Kyubey is pretty much glaring back at the beholder.
Here, Otto, can you give them a little bit more distance?
Sure. And
Marin is just assuming that Otto would have a bit more natural strength to keep Kyubey back.
Otto physically picks up Kyubey and moves him.
Mm-hmm.
Kyubey will let Otto do this, but he's still wary.
So, Okay, so this is going to go down clean. You are going to go and you're going to take your audience with the Duke. My men will be there precisely at 6 p.m. sharp in order to create the distraction. Then it's going to be up to you to find the map, which is going to be in a wooden chest.
A wooden chest.
Yes, unfortunately I can't tell which one because there are dozens of them inside of this palace. Or at least there are dozens of them that the men put in since Mai was kicked out of it.
I see. So unless you were actually there, you wouldn't be able to tell anything.
Precisely. Say.
Is there anything else we need to know?
Yes, there is one more thing. Come a little bit closer, sweetheart.
She does, a bit warily.
Mm-hmm. I want you to know that the Genasi that you're looking for is still alive.
Marin audibly gasps.
Says, but he might not be for too soon. Is that he's been targeted by the Black Spot.
What's the Black Spot?
Say, the Black Spot, they're a band of pirate mercenaries that tend to travel multiple dimensions and multiple realities. Their motivation is to find and kill anybody who was sentenced to death at sea but still somehow managed to survive.
Oh. So then, of course you'd know about everything.
Well, like I said, as long as I can stay alive, I can still keep tabs on him for you. But I do want you to make absolutely sure that somewhere down the line, you're capable of finding that 6th journal. Somewhere in that 6th journal is the location that he's been actually hiding out in throughout the entirety of the multiverse.
So you want us to find that journal that way it won't fall into the wrong hands?
Well, no, it's really just the only way I'm able to communicate that with you without ripping a gigantic hole in the universe, etc., and on and on.
All right.
All right.
Five.
So make sure at some point you're going to confront the Black Spot hand to hand, and whenever you do, tell him Jolly Roger sent you.
All right.
That's me, by the way. I'm Jolly Roger. Nice to meet all of you.
Ah, nice to meet you too.
You guys really need to work on your tableside manner.
Forgive me for that. It's not exactly Triton culture to have what you call that.
All right. So, on with you crazy kids. As this, rest assured I will do everything in my power to make sure that you guys make it out alive with the real map.
Right. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay tight.
And Otto just continues carrying Cube.
Cube has calmed down at hearing what the Beholder has said, but, he's still pretty much on edge because, it's a Beholder.
That's reasonable.
I know. You can let Cube down now.
Well, we best do what we need to do in order to keep up appearances, which is respectfully to swipe a map from the head of this police state.
Yeah, Cube nods while looking at Brainy. Like he does understand that they gotta steal this map.
And so it is inevitable that they are going to be heading to the Duke de la Fontaine's castle in order to swipe the map, and we are going to be doing that after we take this next break. So everybody stretch, get yourself some water. We will reconvene in about 10 minutes, and we will do the final part of this story. thank you everybody for having participated so far. We're going to be back after this short 10-minute break. Well, that's just about it. Okay. See you guys on the other side.
Thank you.
Oh, I will grab a drink.
If you're as into gaming as I am, it's bound to happen. You have almost every card that you need for a killer deck and popular trading card game of choice. But you're missing that one ace card, that one killer app, and it only sells on websites for eBay for, oh good lord, $175! Who's making these prices? A random numbers generator? That's why we're sponsored by GreatMedia.Games. GreatMedia.Games has a fine selection of rare and valuable cards for a wide variety of trading card games. And if you're looking to sell, check out their online buy list, where you'll get paid a competitive rate for some of your old TCT treasures. But that's not all, because we're offering a discount code of 10% off anything that you purchase online. Just head to GreatMedia.Games and use the code 10Finity at checkout for 10% off your online order. Tell them Brainy sent you, or don't, it really doesn't matter. But by all means, visit GreatMedia.Games and get the competitive trading cards that you've always wanted. Alrighty, and we're back. So, at this point, our adventurers have made their way to the Archduke's castle, which used to belong to the former mayor, who goes by the name of Jolly Roger, but is also secretly a beholder. So all of that has happened so far.
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. So you approach the castle, and the first thing as you can see is that it is huge. It is an enormous building, probably one of the most enormous buildings that we have had on the show yet. And it's just very, very wide, made out of ancient marble and tile. And so, as soon as you walk into the door, you guys get confronted by the Archduke. And he looks almost exactly the same way that you saw him in the tavern. He is just this very foppish-looking gentleman in violet clothes, and he's holding a lute. Say, truly a man of elegance, sophistication, very erudite, very capable of handling himself in a very diplomatic conversation. Let's say, boy, it didn't take more than a second, half of a mung bean second in order for you guys to get here. Welcome. I am always happy to see new people on the island.
I'm sorry, I'm so I'm laughing at the who is this Foghorn Leghorn?
This is, almost precisely Foghorn Leghorn. So
I love that.
let me have a look at you, boy. It's over here. The nice boy looks as though he's got a lot of iron in his diet. Hey, at what point in your life did you decide to stop growing? And you got a healthy glow about you, is that I just usually don't expect it to be translucent blue. And, fella, you got a face that looks like a mile of bad road.
Cube looks back up at him, and he does not like what he just said.
Oh, well, no more time for niceties. Let's go ahead. Let's head over to the galley. Is that, we got plenty of food, and we got plenty of food for the soldiers, too, and,
Right.
But this unit does not eat. There is no iron in this unit's diet.
I think that's probably the first of a million misnomers that the Archduke has made in just one sentence.
Nice.
Indeed.
So, listen, I'll go ahead and I'll follow him into the galley, and I will try to do as much as I possibly can in order to keep him distracted. Hopefully, the raid on the castle is going to going to deal with the rest of the guards that might be hanging out in the hallways. So
Cube actually he goes over and like taps Brainy like he wants to tell Brainy something.
So you won't go over to Brainy?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Cube wants to say something. Cube can climb. Cube can be on ceiling and sneak past guards.
Mm-hmm. Well, you might want to give that a try. You might want to give anything a try, but for the most part, make sure that you don't open any chests without other people's without anybody while people are looking at you. You got that?
Cube nods.
And so then he begins to trot off. Oh, Duke, I smell sushi.
All right, that's up to us. Then.
So where do you guys go?
All right. Cube will execute his part of the plan,
Mm-hmm.
and by going to one of the walls and activating the spider climb, and so he can pretty much crawl around, like in the darker parts of the ceiling and the walls.
All right. So there are 2 soldiers just right here on either side of the road, directly in front of us.
Okay, we're probably gonna have to get to.
Yeah.
Alright, Cube looks at the other. As he says, gotta hide. Can't climb open right now.
Okay, hold on. Let me think about what I can do.
We could attempt to distract the guard. Pick a side and distract the guard that we are on the side of, and just try to put ourselves bodily between the guard and Cube so that Cube can't be seen.
True.
All right. So you're gonna take the left, and Marin's gonna take the right.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and
so you go over there, and then I'm going to need deceptions from both of you. Cube, what you can do is you can attempt to roll a stealth.
All right.
that is
Oh
a
dang!
natural 20, friends.
Yeah.
All right, and deception from me. Oh wait, no, that's stealth.
Yeah.
And all right, benchmark roll 1d20 plus 3 and. Are you kidding me right now?
Let's see. Yeah, total of 4. Okay. So this is basically what happens, is that the other guard starts listening to Marin and says, excuse me, I think I have to go visit the little soldier's room. And then, he starts to walk into the galley area again.
Wait, they have a soldier's room.
So this soldier, has never seen a Warforged before, and, he starts just asking him a bunch of Warforged questions, like, what would it be like if you caught yourself out in the rain? And how do you eat? And, what games do you usually play in your community? And
Otto is happy to indulge and explains
No, unfortunately for everyone, I think I screwed up with that now 1.
Yeah, so unfortunately you only make it 5 feet before the guard that is still in the room leans over and says, hey, this isn't a museum.
Cube just looks up at him. And then he's just staring.
Marin crawls over.
How many times have I told you to be on your best behavior? We're in a very important place right now.
She, tries to at least make it look like... she turns away from the guard, so that way she can wink at Cube to let him know, hey, this is just acting.
maybe
So yeah,
maybe
you've
with the
got.
child facade, maybe with maybe with deception, maybe I could if we continue, maybe if we try deception together, we could try to convince that Cuvee he like needs to be alone for a bit. Like maybe if we do that, like a little or whatever, like maybe if we try deception.
Well, okay, so I'm going to put it out that now the guard is really just talking to Otto again. Is that?
Okay,
It's just-
so that's
Otto
like,
has put himself bodily between you and him to
This
try to
is-
take up as much view as possible.
It's just, do you go poo? Is that a thing? Do you? Okay, so, yeah.
This
So,
unit does not eat, therefore does not create waste.
and so now you are out of the sight of the guard, so you can attempt something again.
All right. All right. This time I'll try to get up onto the walls and ceiling with spider climb.
All right. So once again, roll your stealth.
All right. Hopefully I don't mess up bad this time again.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, come on. Those dice gods, don't fail me now.
That's better.
It's better.
Yeah, it's about a 10. And so yeah, you're able to make it at this point. You go up the walls, and then you're moving on the ceiling. So when we move your figure, we're just going to say that you're on the ceiling, facing downward.
All right.
So, what does Marin and what does Otto do at this point?
Maybe try to help like subtly navigate Cuvee to where the map needs to be swapped.
all right. That. I mean, we don't know yet, but.
Yeah, but
So if Otto is between the other guard, I guess that means we'd have to figure out where. That means we'd have to figure out where the room with all the chests are at.
maybe Otto could get some of that information out of this guard since he rolled a nat 20. Yeah, to get the guard so enthralled with him.
No, it would require a different check.
Oh, yeah, true. It was still.
I don't know if you want to attempt anything like that, or.
Yes, actually, since we appear to be getting on so well, Otto asks, could what is the guard's name? Has he identified himself?
It's Ted.
Ted?
Ted the guard, yes.
Ted, this unit has never been to the castle before and would be very interested in a tour.
Oh, well, sure.
We can discuss more as you show me around the castle.
Well, okay. Well, first around here we have our galley. So they get through. So they both manage to get through there.
All right, with if Otto convinced the guard to give a tour, Cuvee will make sure to stay like in like a certain proximity so that he can overhear them, but just enough so that he can still stay hidden, like pretty much on the walls and ceiling.
So with the combination of spider climb and your shadow hide, I would say that you're able to just easily be ahead of Otto as he goes into the next room, and you'd still be hidden.
All right.
What does Marin do?
I guess I don't know what she's supposed to do. I've been so lost.
Maybe you should make sure that things are still going well with the Brainy and the Baron. So if things do start to go south, you could alert.
I could just say that
someone
one of you guys has the map then now. Because
Yeah.
Yeah, we could say that I have the map since Yeah, I'm pretty much the one with the spider climb plan.
Yeah, and it would probably benefit anyway, considering, I guess,
Yeah,
the
pretty much
Tritons
able
around
to
here are
hide
supposed to be more
things under the
snooty.
baghead.
Yeah, the Tritons here are supposed to be more snooty, and, like, it's a big deal, apparently, if they show up to the surface.
Yeah, evidently.
Okay, so then you're gonna go into the galley?
I'm gonna go to where Brainy is.
Alright. So you guys are in the galley, and he's having an animated conversation with the Duke. The Duke is doing most of the talking. Listen, I say to that boy, I say, boy, you're gonna screw yourself up with all of that those Japanese lithograph drawings that you're watching all of the time, and
This is the best part.
okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to do a persuasion check, and then Marin is going to do a persuasion check. The sum total of our numbers is actually what's going to keep the Archduke in that room. So, check.
To the dice tray.
Mm-hmm. So mine has been a 16, and hers has been a 5. So,
Well.
at the very least, Brainy is keeping up with this very
Yeah, at
rapid
least
fire
the Brainy is
conversation, yeah.
keeping things as they are.
Okay, so you're in this room. There are 4 other guards in here. Okay, so what are QB and Otto's next action?
Alright, Cube will keep being hidden in the dark areas of the ceiling in the corner of the roof where that is, and he'll keep listening in on Otto as he gets a tour from this guard.
And this is where the Archduke, he keeps all of his trophies and all of his antiques. This things that he has been given from his travels all throughout the world, or at least the things that were already here before he swiped this castle from Jolly Roger.
Oh, excellent! Like things from all around the world, like a map.
Roll your persuasion.
Well, oh dang!
That's...
How about an 18, sir?
Yeah. So the guard just kind of slowly circles around to you, and he says, "A map? You're looking for a map?"
I'm
These
very
little-
fascinated, or I'm sorry, this unit is highly fascinated in cartography. You could say it is a bit of a hobby of this unit's.
Oh, well, do I have something to show you right this way? And he starts to lead you out.
Ooh, Cube's
Alright.
gonna follow on the ceiling.
You're gonna
And-
fall on the ceiling, yeah.
Otto is like, this unit is so excited to see.
Where did he go? His model fell slightly through the floor. Okay,
He
So
fell
once
on the floor.
again-
He's so excited.
we're back over here. I said. And this time, I said that Tuesday is your turn in the barrel. Isn't that a rib tickler? I said, pay attention, son. Okay, persuasions again.
Alright, keep up the good luck with the persuasions.
18 and, 5
Oh wait, that's Otto's.
and 13.
We got 13, not bad. Well, at least Brady's still keeping
Okay.
things flowing.
See, it's a nice woman you travel with, but she's about as articulate as a barrel of a cold fish.
Well, at least that's the only thing that happened with that dude.
Mm-hmm. And so, Otto gets taken into this room.
Alright, and yeah,
Yeah.
I'm following behind on
Uh-huh.
the ceiling.
And he says, well, here it is that this is the map to the secret pirate cove that is hidden somewhere in the middle of the Basin Archipelago.
Ooh.
Yes,
Ah.
really something, huh? So pretty much tomorrow we're going to sail out in our ships and do a raid on this place. As soon as we capture the rest of those old scallywags, and the Duke is going to be the only authority in all of in every single one of these islands.
This is most fascinating. This unit is very, very interested. Thank you so much for sharing. Has this unit yet showed you a song that this unit wrote about this unit's exploits?
Okay, everybody give me a perception check.
Oh shit, everyone.
Mhm.
Alright, just a second. Alright, perception. Alright. Oh shoot.
That is a 7.
And that's a 20 in total. Not natural.
Alright. So then, I think Marin's was a 22 in that one. So yeah,
Wow.
Everybody hears this. You just hear a wailing siren just outside of the front of the castle. And it says, "What is that?" And then, yeah, he starts to leave to head to the front of the castle gates. And as you can imagine, all of the other guards are hearing this, and they're heading straight towards the front of the castle gates. So Otto is left in this room.
Otto is going to plug up that entryway with his body.
And so the Archduke, he says, what in the Sam Hill is going on out here? And he goes out along with the rest of his guards. Everybody just kind of piles out of the mess hall. And they just start to congregate in front of the building. It looks, Brady turns to Marin and says, well, it looks like it's in the Ag Bay.
Right.
Alright. And as Otto is barricading the door with his body, Cube will take this opportunity to go in and take the real map and switch it with the fake one.
Okay, so you approach the pedestal. Okay, I'm going to need...
Yeah, he pretty much crawls down from the wall.
Yeah. I'm going to need dexterity or sleight of hand, whichever one is bigger.
Right, dexterity or sleight of hand. Let's see here. Sleight of hand or dexterity. Well, they're equally the same thing, so same modifier, so... Alright. 1d20 plus 3 and 7. 7.
Okay. You exchange the maps. The fake map is now on the pedestal and you're holding the real one, but the issue about that is that on top of the map was on top of a pressure plate. And as soon as you took it off, the pressure plate faced down, and now there are a bunch of other alarms going off.
Ah, shit.
And so everybody, well, I'd say even everybody who is currently here, has congregated in the front of the building. They're probably going to be here. If anybody's going to attempt to come back, they're going to come back within, I would say, maybe about 3 actions.
Oh, wait.
So now
Kibbe has an idea. He goes up to Otto and he would like to activate Spider Climb on him, so he could probably get up the wall as well, so he could, kind of get out without, or at least evade them until he'll,
So you guys both adhere yourselves to the ceiling.
Yeah.
All right.
Gonna adhere ourselves to the ceiling.
And I think we should also exit the room and try to, come down.
Yeah, we'll exit the room and we'll and I'll activate Spider Climb on Otto. So,
Mhm.
oh yeah, he could also like at least get like around the guards until we can book it.
Okay, so
Yes.
what are your movements? I know Otto's is a 40, but yours is a 35, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35 to this section by the time that you guys are finished, are completed with your movement.
All right, and Otto's gonna stick with Cube. Like, even though Otto can move a little faster, Otto's gonna hang with Cube.
So I'm imagining that both Marin and Brainy can hear the other alarms going off.
Yeah, precisely.
Oh no.
So, what should we try to do? Should we try to find them, or should we try to escape?
We can't just leave them behind.
Yeah, that's true.
Look, I have a couple of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
We can just... I can create a cloud of fog if we need an escape. But Jolly Roger himself said that he'd cover for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we just simply have a backup plan. Let's just use the distraction we have and go find them.
Yeah, alright. So, we're trying to get to the middle of the castle where they might be. Alright, so the entirety of your movement is 40, I believe.
Yes.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Brainy, on the other hand, can travel 80 in a straight line. 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay, roll your perception.
You said perception or deception?
Perception.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I'm sorry. Let me correct. My movement is 30, not 30. I'm sorry, not 40.
Mm-hmm. Alright. I'll remember that for the next turn.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So mine was a 13, while Marin is a 22. So
Nice.
I'm gonna have to
Woohoo.
spill this one. Even from this distance, you guys are capable of seeing your allies on the ceiling in the upper right corner of the castle.
Okay. Are we able to see any other exits as well besides the front gate?
No, it really does seem like the front gate is the only exit.
Well,
No high windows or anything that someone with spider climb could take advantage of.
Okay, roll your perception.
That is a 12.
Mm-hmm. You have the ability to roll a deception too, a perception too, Kiwi.
Oh, all right. Let me just perception. All right, there it is. This one, and that's a 10.
That's a 10. Okay, that was a 10 and that was a 12.
Yeah.
So all you can know at the moment is that there is not one just immediately in your vicinity.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
Oh wait. Maybe have either of us noticed anything else? Like maybe not an exit, yeah, but maybe something else, so like a chandelier or something.
no, there don't seem to be any chandeliers. At least not.
Damn, never mind then.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys still have movement.
All right, I guess we'll head towards the front gate, right, Otto?
Yes. Let us get away from here as quickly as we can.
Mm-hmm. So let me see. So this would be 30 here. This would be 20 here. Well, this would be 30 here. This would be 25 here. So that would put you roughly about there.
Yeah.
And so this time you can actually clearly see it is that there is a side exit in this vicinity on the lower left-hand side. And you might be able to get out of that.
That is where we should try
Very
to
convenient.
make our exit.
So
Convenient,
if
that's-
so if they can see it and we can see them, then that means we should be able to see it too. Right?
Just to solidify the fact, Cube will look over at Marin and point towards where there's a possible exit.
Marin nods in agreement.
So upon seeing that, yeah, Brainy is just going to once again dart 80 feet in the same line and stop it there. There's a door with just a very high bottom on it, and Brainy is just able to squeeze through.
Okay, well, I guess that means I have to go the same way.
So you've got 40 again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and that puts you here.
Uh-oh.
Okay. This is the start of the second turn. As a couple of soldiers have thought, well, gee, I think there's a different alarm going on.
Huh.
Okay.
This is way easier than it should have been. And given that I pretty much screwed up the sleight of hand or whatever.
Well, I mean, I think that one might have been inevitable. Your character doesn't have the ability to check for traps.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but still, at least we gotta appreciate, like, Davy Jones, like, with his distraction, whatnot.
So it turns out that Otto and the QB don't have to go through the door. There is an overhead window, and it's just big enough for the both of them to squeeze through.
Alright.
So they're all out at this side exit. And so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, yeah, the remaining 40 will get Marin at the door. What do you do with the door?
Let me see what I can do. Are there any handles, any way to blockade?
I mean, there's a handle on the door.
Oh,
Okay, so
wait,
there's-
and maybe if one of us breaks off the handle, maybe that'll, like hinder the chances of getting it back open.
Maybe.
Okay. There's also just trying the door.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then again, that's for, like, after Marin gets through.
I don't have anything that could, help with that situation, so it'd be up to someone else.
Is there anything in the environment that could be used to set in front of the door to prevent people from following us? After Marin gets through the door, of course.
Roll your perception.
That's a 19.
All right, so you can see just nearby there is just one of these black ornate chairs that is right next to the door frame.
Well, let's use that to barricade under the door so that it cannot move. Like, set it under the door handle kind of deal. Classic movie style.
True classic.
So then you go through the door, you prop the chair up against the door on the other side. You walk out into the other side. Through the other end of this is just a gateway into the side courtyard, which just kind of puts you out in the open again.
Oh.
God damn.
So it was dirty, but mission accomplished.
Woohoo!
So eventually, once the guards are done dealing with the rabble rousing that was going on in the front of the castle, they do return. They check the chest, and they see that the map is still there. It says only this is the one that was that QB managed to switch.
Yep, I switched the map.
So now you guys actually possess the real map. So Brainy says, I'll go ahead and I'll send a notice to Jolly Roger that we have the real map and we're just going to hold on to it for now, so that it will be in our dimension and he doesn't have to worry about anybody usurping it within this dimension.
All right, Cube will grab the real map from under his bag and hand it to Brainy.
Mm-hmm. So, at the end of this, we simply just return to we return to Brainy's chamber.
Delicious victory.
Yeah, I thought we were all for the can several times then. I mean, comparatively, we're not in as much danger as we used to be, because usually somebody's out there trying to kill us.
Well, as long as they don't figure out.
True.
Mm-hmm.
That Ted guard will definitely be able to describe this unit if it comes down to it. If our deception is discovered.
Well, with any luck, is that we didn't alert anybody of importance that actually might have to bring us back to this region. But unfortunately, we weren't able to figure out where River went and we seem to be missing the one journal that actually would have given us an idea of where he went.
Yeah, Cube has also pretty much put the rest of the journals on the floor.
So it actually looks as though we did our job convincingly, and absolutely nobody was aware of our espionage this time.
Okay, but why are you moving that figure? What are you doing?
Brainy! Calls down from the hallway. It's Bosch.
Marin instinctively freezes up.
Or perhaps we were just talking about it in the library hallway too loud. Sheesh. And
Angels are right there.
That is the conclusion of this week's story.
All right, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
All right. Thank you, everybody, once again for tuning in to One Shots from the Meowing Portal. I hope you had a good time watching today's episode of Pirate Intrigue.
Thank you very much for tuning in.
So, next week we are going to be doing another adventure. I don't think I'm going to have a teaser this time because I still basically need to figure it out. But we're definitely going to be doing something cool the next time that we congregate. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Be sure to check out Marin Mermaid on twitch.tv/Marin Mermaid, and be sure to check out Shy Bunny Servant, actually say Mimi, on YouTube.
Yeah, Mimi's Wonderland on YouTube.
Yeah, channel of Mimi's Wonderland on YouTube. It's a great channel, and you should absolutely watch it.
Oh, you're making me blush, Brainy.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. We will be back soon with another installment of One Shots from the Meowing Portal. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.